All right, this is a quick how-to video for the Unit 4 portfolio. Should be in Lesson 11 of Unit 4. So if you see this here, portfolio item is what we're talking about. The quick check is dropped, so you do not have to do the quick check for Lesson 11. You can see in the lesson intro page, we want you to kind of stop and read carefully so that you get all the directions you need for this assignment. It does have a little bit of writing, but hopefully you get some insights out of this assignment. There are two parts to the assignment. They're both in the portfolio that's at the end of the lesson though. So this is all in a custom assessment. It's attached to the end of the lesson. There'll just be one thing you upload and then you'll answer your questions in that one spot. So you go to this site, it says iSideWith Presidential Quiz, and you will take this quiz. You will answer questions, I'll show it to you here in a second, but you are not being graded on the results of the quiz. So we are not grading you on which candidate you most closely align with or which political philosophy is most close to your beliefs. That is not part of how you're being graded. What we want to do is see that you took some time, you took the quiz, and then you're going to answer questions about your results, and we'll be grading those answers that you write in the reflection questions. So what you'll do is you'll go to this site here, and it should take you right to the presidential quiz, and it'll let you know that you've got the election coming up on Tuesday, November 5th, and then we have a bunch of questions here. So they group them by topics. We have healthcare, transportation, the economy, science, housing, lots of different issues that they think, whatever they think are kind of up to, issues at the top of voters' minds are some of the ways that they've grouped these questions. But if you want to answer more healthcare questions, if it's a topic you really care about, want to make sure your results are pretty close to how it should actually be, you can click to show more healthcare questions. So you can answer more of those. Also, when you're answering it, it says, should the federal government increase funding of healthcare for low-income individuals, those on Medicaid? You might have a yes or no answer right away, or you might be like, yeah, but, well, then you click on other stances, and there's some other options here. So if there's an answer you have that isn't just a strictly yes or no, and it is here, you can pick one of these. Or if you want to add your own stance, you can click here and kind of add your own answer to the question. So you can be very custom with this. Hopefully you find an answer that's pretty close to where you fall on each of these questions. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of answer some of these and show you kind of what that would look like. So let's say I'm going no and get rid of Medicaid. Not only should we not increase funding, we should get rid of it. Do I support the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act? Let's say we'll look at other stances here. And maybe, yeah, but I support a majority, but not everything. Let's say that, okay? So you're going to go through and answer the questions like that, okay? And then get to the end, and I'll show you what the results will look like. All right, when you get to the bottom here, you will get to some local issues. So some of these answer as accurately as you can, but if you do not have an answer, for example, I'm not sure how I would honestly answer how the current Ohio lieutenant governor is in addressing social inequalities. I don't think the lieutenant governor has much of a role to play in Ohio's government, so maybe I'm wrong about that. But if you don't know how to answer one or two of these, that's fine. And so same thing with the Director of Office of Personnel Management. I don't have an opinion one way or the other on their communications and vision, okay? So some of these near the bottom, if you can or cannot answer them, that is okay when you get to these issues. And then these public opinion ones are also just to kind of gauge public opinion. You do not have to answer these ones. You can, but you do not have to. And then at the bottom, just kind of which qualities are most important for you in a candidate. And those, you can pick more than one. So let's say you really value leadership and integrity, but you also want to make sure they're effective and that they can get elected. Let's say you pick those 4. Okay, so then you're going to click to show your results. So it'll analyze the answers that you've given. So just give it a minute to do this. And then you're going to have a couple different tabs. So if you don't want to show us the candidate tab in your screenshot, because you're going to have to screenshot this to turn it in. If you don't want to tell us who you most closely align with, you can go with party or ideology as well. If you want to screenshot one of those other tabs, that is fine. So I did kind of click on some random answers when I was doing it, which is why it's probably not sure who I'm voting for. if it's got, this would be a very undecided voter type result here, where 75% with Harris, but also with Robert Kennedy Jr., and 66% with Trump. You can see that's not like super close to any one candidate. So again, you don't have to screenshot this page. If you want, you can go to the ideologies page. We just want you to submit some sort of proof that you took the quiz. If you've never heard of some of these, that is fine. But you just want to take a screenshot of the results page. So just kind of right here where it says my ideologies, and kind of go and just show us that you have completed the quiz. So that is the first part of the assignment. And it'll take you, it could take you, really think about the questions, take your time, 15, 20 minutes to take that quiz. But it will give you some interesting results to see what candidates actually align up most with your views on these questions. And so you're going to use that then going into the meat of the assignment, which is the reflection questions. So let's go back to the lesson. So you're going to have to read through the lesson. This lesson isn't tied directly to what's in the portfolio, but you do need to read and take notes on lesson 11 for public policy. Some of it does relate. I'm going to skip to the end to show you what the portfolio looks like. Okay, so you see 6 items here. One of the items is where you're just going to turn in your screenshot. So here's an example of the screenshot. You're going to put that image file in that Dropbox. Same thing like you do with other portfolios. You're just uploading that file. The directions for it are here as well, okay? If you do not take the quiz and put in a screenshot, you are not getting any points for the assignment. You've got to do this quiz first, and that is, starts everything else. After that, then you will answer these reflection questions. So they're just short answer essays. They're worth 4 points, so a rough gauge is, 4 points should probably be around 4 sentences to answer that question fully. That's kind of the detail that we're looking for. I know that's not always the case one-to-one, but that gives you an idea of kind of a shortish paragraph for each of these questions, okay? So do you think this quiz would be helpful for all potential voters? Explain with at least one reason why or not. Why not? You've got to have a reason there to justify it and support your initial answer. The rest of these fully explain kind of how many sentences you need to have, what one candidate or issue do you want to learn more about based on those quiz results? Is there anything that jumped out to you that you're like, oh, I've never thought of that way? And maybe I need to, look into that a bit more. Which issues did you think were most important in the quiz or impact you, your community, or the world? In other words, why are these issues important to you? And just provide an example to support that. Then how do you feel about having political discussions with friends or family after taking the quiz? So how do you think this might help inform you moving forward? Did it help you clarify your beliefs and thoughts, or did it make you question what you thought you had believed or thought, before taking the quiz? Just kind of let us know, the impression. If the answer is no, make sure you're explaining why. Don't just write yes or no. The final question is only worth 1 point. We're just curious, what was kind of the most surprising result from taking this quiz? Was there something that you weren't expecting that came as a result? So just answer that one there. And then you'll review and turn in the assignment. So this is a portfolio. Obviously, you can have the quiz up in another tab if you want to go back to your answers, just like I've got this here to kind of explain things. But again, these results are not impacting your grade. It's just you're putting that screenshot in so that we know you took the quiz. That's the only thing we're doing that in there for. So if you have any questions about this, please contact your government teacher. Thank you.